And today I'm going to show you a cool little thing that I started doing years ago, but have really gotten into lately, which is making my own vanilla extract because I love to bake, and vanilla extract is quite expensive these days for good quality. So years ago, I got a little kit and I started making vanilla extract, and I didn't like it. But I found out that I wasn't using enough vanilla beans. So I added more beans over the years and it turned out fantastic. And I'm almost out. So I've been starting some new batches. And I found a really good source of vanilla beans. And my latest batch came yesterday. So I thought I would show you what you do. So I have 10 ounces of Indonesian grade A vanilla beans here, and they smell fantastic. So, but making vanilla extract is quite easy. Um, but I do need to weigh it. So I'm going to take my mason jar and I'm going to put it on a kitchen scale, and I'm going to have grams. So I have 10 ounces because I'm in a quart jar. I generally do 6 ounces of beans with approximately 3 cups of alcohol. And you want alcohol that is between 70 and 100 proof. You don't want higher than 100 proof. You don't want lower than 70 proof. Um, the government regulates what can be called vanilla extract and the quantities and the type of alcohol. And per the FDA, because it's considered a food additive flavoring, um, you must have at least 35% alcohol, which is 70 proof. And you must have 13.35 ounces of vanilla beans per gallon of alcohol, which, when you do the math, turns out to approximately 0.85 ounces of vanilla beans per cup of alcohol. So I like to do what's called a double fold, or like double strength vanilla extract. So I like to use double the amount to the alcohol because it gives it a nice, stronger, rich flavor. And that's the type I buy when I buy vanilla extract. So it's what I make as well. So just for ease of rounding up and remembering things, I do 1 ounce of vanilla beans per cup of alcohol is single fold, single strength, and 2 ounces of vanilla beans per cup of alcohol is double fold or double strength. So I'm going to be making 3 cups of double strength. So I need to weigh out, and these vanilla beans, they come from Vanilla Bean Co-op online. And so they usually check them and make sure there's nothing wrong with them, and they rinse them in alcohol before they bag them. So they are nice and clean, so I don't have to worry about it. And they just came yesterday. You want to always store vanilla beans in alcohol. Okay, these are going to be a little too tall because these are nice long beans. So I'm going to have to fold some of them because you don't want them to stick out of the alcohol when you put it in the jar. So we'll just fold them up here. You can tie them in knots or fold them, however is easiest for you to get them in there where they will be completely covered in the alcohol. And vanilla beans, I put them in whole. You can cut them up if you want. I like to put them in whole because if I decide I want to put the vanilla bean seeds, or what we call caviar, into a recipe so that I have the little flecks, oh wait, I need an ounces. I can just pull one out of the alcohol and slice it open, scrape out the beans, and put the pod back in to continue extracting. I have small hands, so I can push them in there if you can't use a spoon or something. But it is going to be quite a few beans in here to make a quart size jar full. Okay, not quite there yet. These are fantastic beans. I've been experimenting because I wasn't familiar with all the different types. I normally just ordered either Tahitian or Madagascar beans. So I've been ordering some different varieties and making a jar of extract for each one so that I can kind of compare them when they're ready. We're almost there, so I'm going to go a couple at a time because I don't really want to go over. Almost. Probably just one more fat one. Oh, one more. Okay, put one more small one in there. There we go. We're just about there. All right, so these are going to go into a different jar. So now I'm going to pour my alcohol over it. I have just plain um, vodka. You can use vodka, you can use white rum, you can really use anything you want, but vodka is very, flavorless, so you'll get a nice clean vanilla extract when you're done. Um, Rum, which is yummy as well, those are the two most popular. Will have like a little bit of sweetness because that's in the rum flavor. So you'll get like this little underlying sweetness with the vanilla. So both are equally good and you can use whichever you want. I have, because we're gluten free and I have a son who's actually anaphylactic to wheat. Um, Even though they say that the distillation process of alcohol gets rid of the any possibility of having gluten in the actual vodka, even if it's made from wheat or barley or anything. I don't want to take a chance with my son because he's actually allergic to wheat as well. So I buy corn vodka that's gluten free, made from corn. They make potato vodkas. There's all different sugarcane vodka. There's there's a Hawaiian vodka that's made from pineapple. So you can, choose whichever one. I get like just a not crazy expensive one because you're basically just flavoring it with the vanilla. All right, so I'm just gonna have to push down this one little bean that popped up. That should be good. Okay, so then I just need to put a lid on, which I guess I didn't have. I'm gonna take the one off of here real quick, maybe. So I just put a lid on it, and then I'm gonna label it when I'm done, but I just kind of shake it up a little bit, and it's all good. And then you just let it sit, and it looks like this. It's clear with the vanilla, and within a day or two, it'll start changing color. But if you look at this one that I made in October, how dark the liquid is, and it still smells like alcohol, which vanilla extract does, but it's got a definite strong vanilla flavor. And it's only been since the middle of October. They say that you want to leave it in a dark place and you can shake it every once in a while to distribute the oleoresins, the oil. Um, so they say anywhere from 6 months to a year. The information that I've read and kind of follow is the longer the better. So I usually do it for at least a year. I mean, if I'm really like needing some extract, I might try it in 9 months and see, but I would not want to use it before that. But once it's done, I generally pour it off into, I have like an old vanilla bottle that I just use a funnel and pour it into to use for cooking. And then I can top off the beans with some more alcohol and let it continue to extract. You can usually use the beans. You'll get a little bit less of a, strength. So like if I left this many beans in there, I wouldn't necessarily get what I would consider a double fold the next time, but it would be still a decent, vanilla. So I can do that. And you can kind of keep it perpetually going, add more beans. What I do is I put the beans in whole, and then when I want to use a bean for the caviar, I, take it out, cut it, scrape out the seeds, and then I cut it into half or into pieces to put it back in there. So I know the ones that are cut into pieces already have the caviar removed, makes it a little easier. But this is my oldest batch of vanilla extract. It's the one that I started, I don't know, probably like 12 years ago. And I decanted it into another jar. And then I took those beans and added them in here with a bunch of new beans, as well as added more alcohol again. I don't know, there, I got it open. So last time I did it, some of the beans were really long and I couldn't get them all in there without them sticking out. So I added more alcohol. So I didn't have enough beans in here for a complete double strength, which is why I ordered extra this time so that I could put the 4 ounces I need. So my smaller jars are all one type of vanilla. So these are Indonesian, grade A, and so they are from Indonesia. These are Tahitian. There's two species of vanilla beans. The Tahitianitis, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but the one from Tahiti. So these are actually from Papua New Guinea, but they're the Tahitian variety of vanilla beans, and these are the planifolia variety from Indonesia. And then this is a mixture. I have I'm going to stick all these in here. I got to push them all down in here so they stay. And I'm not really worried. My hands are clean and it's alcohol, so generally things like mold will not survive. So I ordered 10 ounces, so I know that, and I needed 4 ounces in here, so I know that this is what I need in here. So I'm just adding it without measuring it. I'll just push these in here. And this is the one I usually take beans out if I want caviar. And this is one I just wanted to try. Originally I had it with Madagascar bourbon, which is a, wash off my hand real quick. So this has a bunch of mixed beans. It's got vanilla beans from Madagascar that are the bourbon cured, which means they were cured with heat and steam versus Mexican cure, which is in the sun. So this one has, let me see if I can remember. I have the Madagascar bourbon cured beans. I have like almost 3 ounces of those in here. I have a mixture of beans that's about 5 ounces that were some Madagascar, some Mexican, a few other things. I have an ounce of the Papua New Guinea, and then I have the 4 ounces of the Indonesian. So I have about 12 ounces in here with 6 cups of alcohol. And this is just going to be my everyday blend that I'll use for cooking. And then these I'm also going to use for cooking, but I want to sort of see how each bean um, smells and tastes as a vanilla on its own, so I can see which ones are my favorite for the future. It's sort of an experiment. So I have most of them I just have in vodka, but I do have when I ordered my Madagascar bourbon cured vanilla beans, I ordered extra so that I have a jar that is in vodka and a jar that's in white rum. Um, so that I could kind of compare the rum to the vodka. So I'm going to kind of experiment and I'll let you know which are my favorite when they're done, which will be in the fall of 2021. So anyways, that's sort of my little tutorial on vanilla beans. And it is expensive. Vanilla beans are expensive. Their price jumped up several years ago and hasn't really come back down too much. But I will say that when I look at the quality extract that I buy, because I usually buy it from like Spice House online or another purveyor of that quality, and I was paying for an 8-ounce bottle about close to $80. Um, for double strength Madagascar bourbon cured vanilla extract. And I can get the beans for anywhere from 10 to the most I've paid is $14 an ounce. So I can use that and make, 2 ounces, so $28 and, you know, a cup of vodka, which isn't very expensive. So we figured it out and it cuts the cost in about a third of buying it. Although I do obviously have to wait a year to have it ready. Luckily, I had some from before, so I hopefully won't run out before it's ready. But I do find it fun to kind of do kitchen experiments and make as many things as I can on my own. And this is kind of a fun one. Um, so anyway, if you have any questions, post them on the blog and I will see you later. Bye. Okay, so I realized that I forgot a little tip on my vanilla extract video, so I'm adding this at the end of the video. One of the things that I do with my vanilla beans is make vanilla sugar because it's so yummy to put in your tea, in your coffee, in desserts. It just gives them a little oomph of vanilla flavor. So it's so easy to make at home, and I have what I call a perpetual jar of vanilla sugar. So I just keep this mason jar in my cupboard and I use it whenever I need sugar and I want that vanilla flavor. So all I do is I have my vanilla beans that were cut in half and I let them dry. So they were fairly dry when I put them in there. They weren't quite this dry, but the sugar will dry them out as well. So you want them fairly dry. You don't want to like take them out of the alcohol and put them right in there because it'll clump up your sugar. But just let them lay out and get dry, so they're dry to the touch and a little bit dehydrated a bit. And then I just stick them right in my sugar. I have a whole bunch in here. You can't really see it because this jar is actually pretty full because I just topped it off. But there's several vanilla beans in here in pieces. And I just shove them down into the sugar, and I put fill up the jar with sugar and just kind of shake it up. And you can see there's a whole bunch of vanilla beans in here, and it does get sometimes a little bit of moisture from the vanilla beans in there, and like sugar tends to do, but I just shake it up. So there's quite a few pieces in there. So a lot of times, like I said, when I take a vanilla bean out of the alcohol to use the caviar or something, if I don't want to put it back in there, or if I'm done making a batch of extract and I think the beans have kind of been used up enough for extract, I will dry them out and stick them in here. And so I just generally keep adding beans. I don't really ever get rid of them. I mean, I guess I could if I decided they really didn't have enough odor, but as long as it smells vanilla, I just keep doing it. But I'll use, like if I use a cup of the sugar, I'll just put some more sugar in here and just shake it up and let it sit. And it doesn't take too long to, I just keep topping it off, which is why it's almost always full. And I just keep adding vanilla beans every once in a while, and it just smells, I mean, when you open it, it just smells of delicious vanilla. It's beautiful. Um, and it looks a little brown, not because of the vanilla, but I use organic evaporated cane juice. So that has a little bit of the molasses left in it, so it's not quite a white sugar. Um, but you could use whatever sugar you want. And it's just a nice little way to get the most money out of your beans, because vanilla sugar, a little tiny jar from like a spice store, will cost you probably 6, 7 bucks, and it's basically just sugar with vanilla flavoring. So this is just easy and inexpensive and a great way to get more miles out of your expensive vanilla beans. So that's my little tip on vanilla sugar. Bye.